And you can see at NutriRich what a beautiful meal it has come out to. It is a very colorful, very colorful and very delicious sauce. And this is a very good way of preparing and using the traditional greens. I have found it to be a very special sauce. I have just improved on it from the traditional recipe. I've just improved on it by adding all those special ingredients that I have added. Welcome, viewer, this day to In Search for Wellness, and I welcome you this day as I desire to prepare a special dish. And this particular dish was a specially made traditionally by the Kikuyus. We learned it from our grandmothers. My mother used to make it for us. Our grandmothers used to make it for us. It is based mainly on the mixture of maize and beans. The mixture of maize and beans, it has a special name called Githeri. Githeri, a mixture of maize and beans, among the Kikuyus is called Githeri. And it is a traditional food for the Kikuyus, the people who live in the central province of Kenya. Githeri is a traditional food. You'll not miss Githeri in any Kikuyu family, and it is used in various ways. The maize and beans are boiled together. You can either boil them in the pressure cooker, or you can use an Kikuyu pot, or a normal sufuria, or a normal steel pot, and boil the beans together. However, it used to always taste better when it is cooked in the Kikuyu traditional cooking pot. This particular one that we are going to use is green maize that have been boiled together with pigeon peas. These are pigeon peas, and when the two maize and legumes are boiled together, they complement each other on the amino acids that one does not have is complemented by the other. The amino acid that is not available in the legume is provided by the grain, which is maize in this place. And the amino acid which is not in the maize is provided by the legume. In this case is the pigeon peas. So we are going to fry the greens together. First of all, you start by frying the greens in the oil. Here we have amaranth leaves that have been cleaned and cut into small pieces. Here we have stinging nettle. Stinging nettle may be a bit difficult to handle, but we usually handle it by using gloves, and gloves, that latex gloves, which will protect the skin from being stinged by the stinging nettle. Here we have a chop of dania. We have a chopped dania or coriander. And here we have a bowl of chopped greens of the spring onion. That's a spring onion, the greens of the spring onion. Here we have the stems of the green onion. We also add the stems of the green onion. Here we have 3 chopped large tomatoes. Here we have peeled and cubed pumpkin. Pumpkin, in this case, the purpose of the pumpkin is to give a bit of starchy content and also a bit of sweetness. And here we have a bowl of mixed red and green capsicum. Here we have a bowl of red onions, purple onions, for frying the greens. And here we have the yellow is curry powder. Curry powder, you know, is like a masala because it's a mixture of spices and a bit of salt. The chopped purple onions. You allow the onions to cook a bit. You allow the onions to cook a bit in the oil. I've added there quite a significant amount of oil in the cooking of this dish because mainly we are dealing with the green leaves. We are dealing with green leaves, and also we are dealing with beans and maize, and so this one gives it a good foundation to facilitate the leaves cooking properly. I've not really specified the measurements, but one can always you have not really specified the measurements because these leaves, as much as they may look quite voluminous, when you have cut them out, they are full of water. Almost 90% or 85% of these leaves is water. That's the stinging nettle. I'm going to add the terere, and we are going to allow that to heat up. We are going to allow it to heat up so that it can shrink and we can continue with the process. You'll see at the end of it, it will really shrink almost to a third of that. Just about 4 minutes. You can see how the greens that were full in the sufuria, how they really shrunk, and they really continue shrinking a little bit more. And what will happen is that you are going to allow the greens to cook before adding any other of the ingredients. I will give the greens some time to cook. You can see the greens have really shrunk now. The greens have really shrunk after heating for about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to allow the greens to cook a little bit more in the heat so that they can develop the flavors. The greens will develop the flavors better when they cook a little bit longer on their own without being mixed with anything else. It's already shrunk to a third of what you had put there. I'm happy with the development of the flavor, and these greens are almost cooked in themselves. But now we are going to go to the next phase of adding the other ingredients. We are going to add the dhania. We will add the dhania this time. We are also going to add the tomatoes at this time. And again, also add the pumpkins at this time, so that they can cook. We want the tomatoes cooked completely. We want the pumpkin cubes cooked completely so that they can provide the matrix. You see, the green leaves on themselves, they have got no thickness on themselves. Green leaves are just what they are. They are just leaves, and they don't have content on themselves that is substantial as a starchy matrix that can hold other ingredients. And that's why I've added the pumpkins, and we added with the tomatoes and the pumpkins, we'll get a bit of thicker matrix that is able to hold the rest of the content, that you enable us to mix the rest of the content correctly. I will also add the curry powder. I've added a bit of black pepper and salt at this time too. And we'll give them time to cook. We'll give it time. Let's give it about 10 minutes for these vegetables to advance in the cooking process. The greens are becoming quite soft. They are cooking well. And the addition of the tomato and the pumpkin is enhancing the cooking process and also breading the flavors in a very, very special way. We are going to allow them to cook a little bit more, about 10 minutes, so that we can add the spring onions and the capsicum. We will add our githeri towards the end, because the githeri is pre-cooked. It has been pre-cooked and has been frozen, so we don't want to add it too early, and because we don't want to break the pigeon peas. We want the pigeon peas to come out still whole and standing. So we'll give this a few more minutes to allow the pumpkins to cook a little bit more, so that they can start releasing their flavors and its content to improve on the matrix of this dish. I've added another ingredient here. These are chopped leaves of garlic. We are going to add our last veggies, capsicum. We add the spring garlic, the leaves of the spring onion, and then we add the stems of the spring onion. Again, we'll give them time. We'll give them time to bread their flavors, together with our grains, with our traditional grains. And then after this, we'll be able to add our githeri. When they are ready and cooked, I will now be able to add my githeri into this mixture. This is a very, very special dish, very, very, very rich in phytonutrients. Really, you can say a food like this one, or vegetable preparation like this one, is just like a medicinal preparation. It's just like a medicinal preparation, and it is very, very healthy. Very, 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 very healthy. It goes to improve the wellness of the cells, because it provides a broad range of antioxidants, a broad range of phytochemicals that go to protect our cells. And you can see the attractive mixture of our beautiful vegetables, which are quite rich with the special nutrients. They have vitamins, they have minerals, they have very, very important ingredients, nutrients called phytochemicals, which are really very, very helpful in protecting our cells and also the DNA. You see that the cooking process is a work of art. It's like painting, applying various colors in a painting. And so if you put all these ingredients together, at a go, be sure they will not give you a flavorful outcome. But when you add them, like we have seen us demonstrate here, your end result is so flavorful. It's such a beautiful and very, very flavorful sauce. And at this point, we are going to add some water. We are going to add some preheated water so that we can then add our githeri in this mixture. The water will help us mix the Githeri together with now the nicely flavored greens. You see that the greens are still showing our beautiful green, and it's because they continue cooking at a very high temperature. They continue cooking at a very high temperature to facilitate the retaining of the chlorophyll green color. I'm just going to add a little water to help loosen up and mix the ingredients, our last ingredient. We are now going to add our last ingredient. It is still very cold because it was pre-boiled and frozen. You add just a little bit more water here, pre-boiled hot water, to facilitate the cooking, to facilitate the heating up of our Githeri with the greens. Like we said, the Agikuyu's traditional food is maize and beans. Maize and beans forms the backbone of the traditional food, but this maize and beans was always made as a mashed food with green bananas and potatoes and greens like stinging nettle, pumpkin leaves, and many other type of greens. And that food was cooked together. The ingredients were breaded together in the cooking process, and they provided a well-breaded food that we call irio. Our breaded meal has come out very well. Now it is almost ready, and to it I'm going to add a suspension of 2.5 spoonfuls of cornstarch to develop the texture, of the matrix. So this is a 2.5 spoonfuls suspension of cornstarch. Cornstarch creates a colloid when it is heated, and it is going to develop the texture of this sauce. So this, you see at the end of it, is a sauce of a mixture of traditional grains with Githeri, but with the flavors and nutritive content enhanced with all the ingredients that we have seen added to it. It has come out very well, and it is smooth. The flavors are nicely blended, and the texture is also coming out beautifully. Our dish, we have developed it into a sauce with the help of the cornstarch. It has developed nicely into a nice, very nutritious sauce, and one can use this sauce with chapati. One can use it with chapati. One can use it with rice, with roasted potatoes or fried potatoes. This sauce can be used with anything. It is already rich in traditional grains and a variety of herbs and spices. It has this carbohydrates, and it has got its protein. You see that the combination of maize and beans or pigeon peas together complete the amino acid requirements for the body, to provide the amino acids which are required to create or to develop or to make the non-essential amino acids. It is complete. And so this is a complete meal, especially for the Weight Watchers. For the Weight Watchers, this is a very healthful meal. It's complete. It is low in calories. Now we can see that our meal is ready. Our traditional grains blend with Githeri is complete, and this dish is smooth. It's so flavorful. It's just lovely. It is very nutritious, and it's very, very appetizing. In fact, because of its nutrient content, it helps the body Githeri in fighting the cravings that come in the body and the cells because of high consumption of carbohydrate diet. This kind of sauce used often will help heal the body of all these biochemical cravings of sugar, of cakes, of mandazis, of biscuits, of chocolates. It's a healing product. This is a healing sauce. It's a healing recipe, and I would encourage you to try it. I would encourage you to try it. Yeah, this is our sauce. I've already served it in this soup bowl so that we can see it closer, and you can see at close range what a beautiful meal it has come out to. It is a very colorful, very colorful and very delicious sauce, and this is a very good way of preparing and using the traditional grains. Amaranth leaves fries very quickly. Amaranth leaves and stinging nettle. When stinging nettle is young, it cooks very easily, and I would encourage you to try it and make this a consistent way of preparing your sauce, so that you can add this to the variety of your sauces for breading other food items like wholemeal chapatis, roti, couscous, biryani, ugali, roasted potatoes, and all these other ingredients, all these other starches that we make in our foods. This is I have found it to be a very special sauce. I have just improved on it from the traditional recipe. I've just improved on it by adding all those special ingredients that I have added. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating with me, looking up into this channel of In Search for Wellness. And please, I request you to leave a comment if you try this recipe. Let us see how you have improved on it. You can nearly add so many things and improve on it according to your own flavor, according to your own taste, according to how you want it to look like. Just share with us on your improvements. Thank you so much. Goodbye.